Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's the match preview of Spurs against West Ham United, the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup on Wednesday evening. Gonzo, it's cup time, it's Tottenham time. Can I get your thoughts on Spurs, please?
Yeah, funny, good time to ask. I watched them play yesterday. So that was after their break, their, I guess, enforced break that they didn't particularly want to have. It didn't look like they'd done them any harm, mate, to be perfectly honest with you. They looked fit, firing. Actually, to say they took the game to Liverpool might have been a stretch, but in the way that the tactics that they wanted to play, which tactics would be quite familiar to us at West Ham, actually, they would have felt that they had good control of the game. They seem to be motivated. They seem to be, really up for it, fast, good speed in the team, and then constantly posed a threat, really, and transitioned well through midfield as well. So I may well have done them a bit of good, bearing in mind the way that they appointed their manager and the fact that it was all a little bit hurried. I think he initially was their first choice. They got Nuno in because I think he initially said no, got Nuno in. So eventually they got their first choice, didn't they? But he didn't have much time with the players on the training ground. Just wonder if this little hiatus has given him the time he needed to bed down his ideas. And even Harry Kane, who had looked has basically been having a bit of a soul cup, hasn't he? Well, not on England duty, score goals for fun, England duty, but he's been sort of, you didn't feel like he was fully committed to the Tottenham cause. It looks like it was a Harry Kane with a really good attitude as well. So it's probably not a great time to play him, Gio.
Yeah, when Conte was appointed as manager, I thought, oh no, that fixture, even though it was well ahead, I thought that fixture's bad news for us now. Because originally when it came out, we thought, oh, we'll take that, away to Tottenham. We'd only just beaten them in the league as well. We thought, brilliant, we'll have a little bit of that. Conte got sort of point, you thought that's just got a bit more hard. And now they've had that break, and it's a small pre-season for Conte, and he'll take it because when he's come in, like you said, it has been hurried, but because of the Europa Conference League, which they had at the time, he didn't really have time with them. It was game after game after game after game, and you'd probably been thinking, bloody hell, I could do it just with a few days with these players to get something across to them, to try and work out who's who and what's what, and get my ideas across. And I thought yesterday, they were fantastic. I thought they deserved to win the game against Liverpool, actually. And it's the best I've seen Spurs playing a match for a long, long time. Will they be able to play that way against West Ham? I'm not too sure. I don't think we'll be as open as Liverpool, but I'll tell you what, I watched it yesterday, and I watched it this morning. I watched the whole game this morning back, and I thought, that's scary. That worried me a little bit. The West Ham fan, I wish we weren't playing them next. I wish this cup game wasn't on Wednesday, because although it was a draw, it's still a morale-boosting draw for Tottenham as well. There's loads of positives to take from that. Even when Conte first arrived, they were still struggling. There was that old statistics doing the rounds of them not having any shots on target. They've gone 7 halves of football or something stupid without a shot on target. You thought, that's not good. But now it's completely changed. He's had that little break, and they've come back. They look like a different team. It's only one game. That's all we can judge it on. But that's all we can judge it on. And they look like a different team completely yesterday against Liverpool. Came out today, Gonzo, that UEFA have confirmed 3-0 victory has gone to Rennes. That's Tottenham out of the Europa Conference League. Is this a good thing for Tottenham and a bad thing for West Ham?
I think it's exactly what Tottenham wanted. I think that's the result they were going for. I mean, look, let's be perfectly fair. We've got a situation now with football where football's in a new era. There's no rules. People are hurriedly convening meetings to decide how to operate in the new landscape. There'll be clubs at the moment, possibly allegedly, not really, only in my own mind. I'm not accusing anybody of doing this. Maybe if they want a fixture cancel, just close their training grounds and stuff like that. So,
Norwich would never do that, would they?
No, Norwich would never do that. But no, nobody would do that. But I'm just saying, if people were as naughty and as cynically minded as I am, they might do such a thing to really sort of circumvent some of the COVID regulations, which don't really exist. My point is they may use the COVID situation to their benefit to get the players rested, to get fixtures that they didn't particularly want to play repositioned. Look, let's be fair, we're all thinking it, just nobody out in the mainstream media is saying it. But that's really what we all think is happening. So I'm pretty sure that Tottenham don't want to carry on in that ridiculous competition. I don't blame them, by the way. I don't blame them. But that's a good out for Tottenham. Conte wouldn't want any part of that. He's going to want to concentrate particularly on getting top 4 in the league. That is going to be his main thing. If he can grab a trophy along the way, which is obviously what you're referring to. And your question is very much, is he now going to take this more seriously because they're not in Europe? No, because I don't think he was going to take it seriously anyway. But I think, I mean, Europe, I don't think that was ever going to be a distraction. I think whatever was going to happen, he was going to sort of look to do this. I think, funny enough, I think the draw against Liverpool has probably harmed us more than him taking the club out of Europe. I think had they have got a loss, he may well have thought, oh, hold on a second, I need to sort of concentrate on the next league game. No, I don't think it's a bad time to play Tottenham, really. I'll tell you what, the stadium was rocking, by the way. Different. We know all about this. We know all about stadiums being transformed and the noise level in stadiums being transformed. And ours has certainly seen some, really good atmospheres this season. And I've obviously been to their stadium. And that seemed different. That seemed like it was rocking. It had galvanised. It seemed like all the Spurs fans were up for it, were behind it, and it was loud. It was a good atmosphere, and it's an impressive stadium, of course.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a win-win for Tottenham. Really, I think if UEFA decided for whatever reason the outcome meant that Tottenham in the next round, I thought it was a tournament that could go on and realistically win, and it may not be the most prestigious trophy in European football. But like West Ham, if we're Tottenham fans, I didn't like West Ham. When you've gone that long without a trophy, you need to get one in. And I think to some extent, I don't think beggars can be choosers. I think if the Europa Conference League, the trophy that's the easiest to win, that's the one they should pursue. And I think prior to today's decision, I think that in the League Cup were similar levels of can you go on and win it? I think probably would have been the answer. Tottenham are one of the strongest teams left in both. Yeah. Now they're out of that. I think this trophy is the only one that Conte can make a serious go at. I think we've got the FA Cup around the corner, but that coincides with crunch time in the Premier League, doesn't it? As you get further on the FA Cup, the league games get more and more important if you're still in the race for something. As we found out with West Ham last season, we were in the top 4 race at one point. The FA Cup come out and we thought, well, we could probably do without this, to be honest with you, because we need to focus on the league. Possibly now with the League Cup, certainly in the previous round, me and you both felt we could do without this because we've got the Europa League and the Premier League to focus on a little bit. Now they're out the Europa League, I think the League Cup in fourth becomes Conte's priority. I think this game's got harder for West Ham because of the European thing. I think actually he might be looking at this thinking, oh, we're in the quarterfinal actually. We win on Wednesday. We're in the semi-final. That itself's good. We don't play it till February. Win Wednesday. Beat West Ham. Big win in the semi-final of the Cup. The Cup, luck of the draw, might get a team that can also beat. Then we're in the final. All he has to do is win 3 ties and he's won a trophy at Spurs already. It doesn't seem too difficult. In theory, on paper for Conte. So I think this game's got a little bit harder, but like I said, I thought it was win-win for Spurs, really. I think I can understand why they would dismiss the Europa Conference League, but I can also understand if they wanted to go on and win it as well. I completely see both sides of it. But anyway, while Spurs' ball is not in the next round of the Europa Conference League, if you're going to get your balls out, make sure they're shaven. Gonzo, do you know anywhere where you could get something good for male grooming?
I do. What you want to do is go and give Manscaped a look, and you can find the link to Manscaped right under this. Yeah, don't look down there. But not there. It's in the right.
Well, you can.
In the text.
It looks good.
It's for there, but the link for it is underneath the text, underneath this video. You use the code. What code do you use, Geo?
Hammers Chat. No spaces. Hammers Chat.
Put that code in, you get 20% off. We're not just saying, I was going to say, not blowing smoke up your bum or anywhere else for that matter. These are excellent, excellent products. They are, it's the ultimate male grooming kit. It's got everything you need for your nostrils, your chin, your cheeks, and everything else for that matter. Manscaped 20% off by using the promo code HammersChat.
Get the big package to look after your little package, or if you're blessed, your big one as well. It depends. There's always a small thing versus big thing debate when Tottenham West Ham come up, doesn't it? It's always, oh, we're bigger than you. We've got a bigger one than you. Do you? You got a big cock on your stadium, but has it been Manscaped?
Yeah,
it needs to be.
It's like a pigeon on a meatball, really, isn't it? Basically, that's their logo. A sort of decrepit old pigeon on a beach ball or something, pooing on a beach ball. But don't forget Manscaped, by the way.
Anyway, if you want your partner to go on to Manscaped, get everything to your basket, type in Hammers Chat, get 20% off everything, free shipping, and you will get your as well. Anyway, back to Tottenham. Let's talk about Tottenham quickly again. Persia Mayor.
I'll tell you what, I bet Conte went in there and thought, I bet he knew Son was a good player, but I thought, thank goodness I've got this player. I mean, he's a manager's dream, isn't he? He is a manager's dream. He's got the work rate, he's got the pace, he's got the skill, he's got the attitude. He is the complete player. He really is. Strong as well. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw him live. I thought, oh wow, he's a lot bigger than he looks on the telly. But mind you, my telly I've only got a 12-inch telly. To be fair, so everyone looks tiny on it. Fortunately, I've got other stuff that's bigger than that. But I thought I need 2 Manscapes. I thought he's a really good player. I mean, an absolutely fantastic player. I really like. He didn't play the other day. Davis played at left back. I like old Ratatouille at left back. That he got from they get him from Real Madrid. Is that where he came from?
Possibly Regulion.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. And I do like Ndombele. And I've been saying this. I can say this consistently, not because it's fashionable. I was even saying it when everyone was saying he was crap. I like this guy. He just looks like a midfielder to me, which is just as well because he plays in midfield. But he does all of those things that you want your midfield to. He provides real driving. His range of passing is good. He can tackle. He's mobile. I think when he first went there, he was getting substituted early, so maybe his fitness was questionable. But then, mate, they've got some absolutely fantastic players. I remember when they came to the London Stadium earlier in the season, I was watching Mora warm up. I was like, oh, God, he's brilliant. I was sort of watching the warm up and just watching him banging the ball in the back of the net. Fortunately, I didn't get anywhere near our goal, but that was in their stint where they couldn't shoot on goal or do anything. But they got some really good players, mate, and it was like Dele Alli's coming into form as well.
Yeah, it's not as good a Spurs squad as it has been, but it could be. If that makes sense. I think if Conte can get a tune out of a few of those, he put Dele Alli in yesterday, and I thought he looked okay. That type of player, it's almost like broken biscuits in a way. If you can just get them, you can fix them up a little bit. Some of those players, get them back to what they can be. He has got a better squad there. I think Lloris impressed me the most out of the Tottenham squad because I think a few years ago I thought he was finished. I thought he was done. Back to his best, back to being one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. A bit like De Gea, they both seem to, at the same time as well, weirdly enough, dip off. And you thought, ooh, keepers aren't too good, but they're back. They're back this season. I think they're both really good. I think he's been fantastic for France as well. Winks is an interesting one. I remember being a bit of a fanboy of Harry Winks. Not quite that bad, but I used to really like him. And I thought him and Rice as a pairing for England would have been fantastic. And he's also just not been very good for the last few seasons. But he's one of those players, I think, if Conte can just get playing well. And you said that Son's every manager's dream. Actually, I think Conte, for some of these Spurs players, could be every player's dream manager as well. You got an insight into the club a little bit with the Amazon thing and stuff, and you do feel one or two of them could do with just getting whipped into shape a little bit, to be honest with you. There's lots of talent there just going unwasted, and Ndombele is one of them. Bergwijn's another one of those players. You just look kind of, bloody hell, he's so good, but he's just not good, if that makes sense. But Harry Kane's the biggest one for Conte, isn't he? If he, like you said, he looked poor at the start of the season, looked like he had his bottom lip out and his arms crossed, but yesterday he was a completely different player. And if he can get the best out of him, Kane, he's the best striker in the league, but he's also one of the best number 10s in the league at dropping deep and creating for Son in particular. World-class player there, but just not been very good this season. Anyway, shall we talk about West Ham, my friend?
I think we should.
How would you like to see us line up is the question. Goalkeepers up for grabs, I suppose. Fabianski or Aviola. Who do you want to see? I mean, it feels like a big game, this, for a few different reasons. And I think, in a weird way, Gonzo, I think this game has at the minute, the world's a bit of a crap place. It seems like the world's a bit of a crap place in the minute. There's a lot of uncertainty as to what's going on, including the game. Is the game even going to go ahead? Is fans going to be allowed in? Okay, we'll get to that one. Are we allowed to the next one? Can we book our travel? I've just booked tickets for the train for the Man United game on the 22nd of January. I booked the train ticket with absolutely no confidence I'll be able to get on it and go to the game, but I booked it anyway. It just feels like a bit of a crap time at the minute with all this uncertainty and stuff. And this game, I think almost carries a little bit more. And regardless of who the opposition is, it's like we almost need a pick-me-up. We almost need a bit of a distraction and a bit of cause for celebration and entertainment. Just forget about the stuff that's happening behind us. We can just focus on the game, have a bit of fun.
I felt that was what was going on in the stadium when I watched the Tottenham Liverpool game. I felt, I mean, what do I know? I'm not there. It's just something on the telly. But I got that. I don't know. I thought it a couple of times. Just sort of wonder if these people are thinking this might be our last sort of time out before. Well, I don't know. Whatever, Christmas, February, whatever the case may be. You know. So yeah, I think people are fearful because of what's happened there. For West Ham, it's funny. I'm quite nervous about it. I already sense that you're nervous about it, but that's because we're seeing a different Tottenham now, and they are our rivals. And as much as Tottenham fans like to say, "Oh, we don't care about you. You're only bothered about us. We don't even notice your fixture," and say all this crap. You know, by the way, that their fans are when they turn up at our stadium, and they. Well, the comments they leave on the videos and stuff like that. They are bothered about it. They do see it. They do see it as a derby. And I think because of that, we're a little bit nervous about it. But I don't think David Moyes and the players will be. And I think that's the most important thing. They have recent and historical examples of beating Tottenham. Tottenham are not like Everton used to be, where we beat, or Liverpool, where we beat them for 10 seasons or anything like that. We beat Tottenham in one shape or form, in one competition or another, almost every year. So they're not a bogey team. They are our rivals, though. So I think David Moyes would be able to say to the players, "Look, this is Tottenham. We can do it." And it doesn't really seem to matter what manager they have. We always seem to be able to beat them. But they by the same token, they've got recent success against us, of course, as well. So should be interesting. Should be really, really interesting, Geo. How seriously he takes it is key, though. David Moyes has to take this seriously.
I think his hands forced a little bit. I still, while there's one or two players back, I think there's also one or two players missing that he would have liked to have been included. I think we're still limited. And while it almost feels like ages since we last saw West Ham play, unfortunately, I think we'd be naive to assume that Antonio, Benrahma, and Fernandes have somehow rediscovered their form by not playing against Norwich on Saturday. So, we've still got the same problems, and it feels like, I think part of the reason I'm nervous for this is it feels like we're on a dip at the minute while Tottenham are on the rise and we're crossing over halfway,
Sure.
and I don't like it. One of us is heading in the right direction, and it's not us. And that's why it's nervous. And I agree with you. It is a big game. I think it's a big game for both teams, both sets of fans. And I'm unsure why there's this fashion these days. It's almost like a popular thing nowadays with fan base, just to play down the importance of oh yeah, we don't care. What's wrong with that? I never understood the obsession with being obsessed about not being obsessed. Does that make sense? It's almost like you're so obsessed to make all you come across obsessed.
They're not the people that go to games, though, Geo. That's the thing. The people that go there know the sense of occasion, and not then they're the sit-at-home fans. A lot of them, because you've only got to go to one, and then one Tottenham West Ham game, it's important.
Everyone knows Tottenham have got a bigger rival than West Ham in Arsenal. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows West Ham got a bigger rival than Tottenham in Millwall. But it doesn't mean that when the two teams meet, it's not a big deal or a big occasion. It is. But something, that's what's wonderful about football, that you have this rivalry. It's important. That passion, that love for football, it's an important factor of football. And I'll tell you something, there'll be neutrals tuning into this game on Wednesday night looking forward to it because it's Tottenham against West Ham. So here we go. Whenever these two play, it's sometimes a really good game, really good atmosphere. Can't wait. Anyway, how seriously would you take it? Who's your goalkeeper, Areola or Fabianski?
Well, I think you have to play Areola. If you don't play Areola in this, then Areola will not play until February, or whatever the case may be, something like that. And you'll have seen Areola not play for 2.5 months for West Ham. If Areola don't play for 2.5 months for West Ham, we're not signing him. I don't think we're signing him anyway, but you know what I'm saying. I think there's the biggest. Moyes can say all the things he wants. Actions speak louder than words. He can praise Areola to the hilt. If what he doesn't do is play him for 2.5 months, then actions speak louder than words. He's basically saying, "Sorry, mate, you are my second goalkeeper. This is important. Areola plays. He must play him." So that's what would be my choice.
Yeah, I completely agree. I want to see this game taken serious, but this isn't necessarily dropping of quality between the two goalkeepers. I think comparable, Fabianski and Areola. You were to write down 10 basic skills or whatever you want of your goalkeeper. I think Areola would win some, Fabianski would win some, and at the end, I don't think there'd be too much between them. At the minute, Fabianski's the number one goalkeeper because of form. He's not done anything that wrong to get out the team, whereas Areola's not done anything wrong either. So I play Areola. I agree with you. I think it's important that we see him, but we give him a chance. We keep him encouraged at West Ham. We keep the morale up with Areola. And like I said, there'll be a lot of people watching this thinking, well, Areola is the better goalkeeper anyway. A lot of people will agree. A lot of people disagree. There's not much between them. So Areola for me. Looks like Aaron Cresswell will be back though, Gonzo. I assume you'll be putting him in, and we've missed him.
Oh, massively. Massively. A big part of this game, Geo, if we're going to do anything in this game, because you're absolutely right about the Liverpool game. Liverpool attack with abandon. They really do. It was no surprise to see Alexander-Arnold, who was almost in the box, crossing for Robertson, who was in the box, to head in from 6 yards. That's basically the position that their fullbacks take up. And if your fullbacks are in that position, then somebody ain't at the back defending. So they leave big old gaps there, right? And you saw it when Son scored the goal. You saw the counter attack. You said numerous times during that game. You saw these acres of space that Tottenham, that Liverpool leave there. West Ham are not going to leave that space, but because we don't, we'll probably invite a bit of pressure on us. So maybe we won't be having as many attacks as we'd like. Corners are going to be a massive part of this game because we're going to have to counter, we're going to either have to score or force Lloris to push it round the post, and we want a corner. And when we get that corner, it'd be really useful to have Aaron Cresswell back because we've faltered, and it hasn't worked the last 3 or 4 games or whatever it might have been. So it'd be nice to have him back to take some.
And how the rest of your defence line up, including whether it's a back 3 or a back 4? Because Cresswell gives that dilemma, doesn't it? Cresswell's the key to having the ability to switch between a back 3 and a back 4. If he's not fit, it's a back 4. If he is fit, you can play either.
I don't. I wish you hadn't said that. All my thing worked out in my head. Okay, so the trouble is our lack of form players in attacking positions. That's the problem. So let me have a little think about this. Okay, I don't think. Okay, Tottenham don't leave enough players up the pitch all the time at the top of the pitch. I think to warrant playing 3 at the back. So I'd probably play 4. I'll go with Johnson, who I assume is also fit, and Cresswell there, and obviously the 2 centre backs of Diop and Dawson.
For people wondering if Soufal's suspended, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I believe he is, and I've seen a lot of articles that he's available, and Rudy's a big viewer of ours tweeted me, and I said no, he's suspended. And he produced an article by Football London, said he's available for selection. I don't believe he is. I believe the ruling is yellow cards don't carry over to the Carabao Cup, but red cards do, and because he was sent off, so his suspension stands for Wednesday night, and he's not available for selection. See, it depends how fit Ben Johnson is, doesn't it? Because if he is fit, he probably plays. But if he's not quite fit, then in a weird way, you've got to look at Harrison Ashby and say, well, actually, there's winners and losers with all these games being postponed, clubs and players. And Harrison Ashby is unfortunately going to be one of the losers because he was in line for his first ever Premier League start. You'd have to imagine he was. And it's almost been taken away from him a little bit. He's almost been robbed. And then if Ben Johnson's fit, he'll play the next Premier League game. On Boxing Day, we'll have Soufal back anyway. So it's like Harrison Ashby will go from starting a right back to third choice right back, just like that. And feel a bit harsh for him. Anyway, centre midfield, what are you saying?
I'll go Rice and Souček for this one. There's I'm not gonna muck around here. And I think they'll be up for the battle. And I think they'll be in a battle as well, from what I saw with Tottenham. And a really good contest, be an excellent contest, be entertaining. That will, Geo. And I would not rule out, for all this praise that I've heaped upon Tottenham, do not rule out the prospect of Declan Rice being the best player on that football pitch once the 90 minutes is done. Do not rule that out at all. So, but Souček can have a good game in this one. Might have to cut back on his attacking, but he's been doing that anyway. But also, it would not surprise me. Would not surprise me for Souček to score the winner in this game. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'd like to see Lanzini in there. I know you probably got him later on your team. You'll say you don't mind him being centre midfield, but I think 3 against Tottenham is important, really. When I watched that Spurs game. Obviously, they started with what looked like three centre midfielders. Obviously, Dele Alli was to get forward and help Son and Kane, but it felt like they were packing out the midfield against Liverpool, which makes sense because we knew Liverpool always play 4-3-3. So Conte's also matched up in the middle, make sure that Winks and Co aren't overran in the middle of the park. But then it becomes, while they didn't win, it becomes hard to change a winning team. And like I said, they didn't win the game, but it would have felt like a win. That would have felt like a really good point. You saw the way Conte celebrated as well when they scored to make it 2-2. That was a morale booster. That was a huge, huge point for Tottenham and a huge performance, more importantly. And I don't think he'll change too much. And I don't think he'll change too much of the way that Tottenham went about their business and played the game. So I'd like to see Lanzini in there. He loves a London derby, doesn't he, Manu? He absolutely loves it. Similar to the team that we picked against Norwich, and Norwich previously got called off, really. But how would you like to see us up the top of the pitch then? Because we've still got the Mikel Antonio conundrum, don't we? Which is... He's out of form, but he's had a bit of a break now. So is that enough to keep him up front? Is that enough to justify giving him another go as a fan?
I think so. There was there was all this talk before about. I say this talk because me was talking about it. This about the shutting down the training grounds, and gonna slag myself off now. But there was all this talk, all these people spreading these rumours about people shutting down training. But I did think to myself, there's one person that won't do that, and that's David Moyes, because he's screaming out for more time on the training pitch. David Moyes wants that training ground open, and if he could get it open for a bit longer, he'd probably do that as well. You get the feeling if he could keep everyone there until 10 o'clock at night, he would do. So he's had time on the training pitch. I'm pretty sure they'll have done whatever they feel they need to do with Antonio, and I'm quite sure we'll get a better version of him, not just to work with him physically in terms of, you know what I mean, for just whatever they do, ice baths and the sports scientist and whatever they do. I'm sure I just don't stick him in a bucket of ice. It's a bit more technical than that. But I think from the sports science point of view, they get older. I think psychologically they would have got hold of him and talked him through it. Maybe some drills with Kevin Nolan, who's a wonderful finisher as well. And also think from a training perspective, just to get him to holding those positions better and doing all that stuff. So I think for those three reasons, both tactically, physically, and mentally, physically, you know what I'm saying? We'll get a better Antonio. I think you've got to play Bowen there, in the team as well. You've got to play Lanzini as well. But the one thing I would retain from the Norwich game is I would also play Vlasic there, because I think he'll fight and he'll battle. So that would be my team.
Yeah, same three for me, really. Antonio, Bowen, and Vlasic. I'm still inclined to play Antonio on the right. I think there's an opportunity to get at Spurs down the line. I've been quite impressed by Emerson over at right wing back since he's come in. I mean, the problem is for Spurs, he practically starts every game on a yellow card anyway, so he's a bit of a liability in that sense, but he gets forward well enough. I think he's pretty switched on. They've got Sanchez over that side as well if they need him. And I just think Davies and Sessegnon's perhaps probably defensively the weaker side for Spurs should they play those two again. And I'd almost like to see Antonio taken away from the striker department, because he's got the ability, but not only the ability, he's got the power and the pace to beat any man on his day. On a one-on-one battle, Antonio's got what it takes to get the better of his opponent. Saeed Benrahma, for example, perhaps doesn't have that. Benrahma will beat his man for skill. He'll take him on a few times, but over 90 minutes, the defender will probably get the better of him. It's just a case of, can Benrahma make the fewer victories he has count? Can he produce the cross or a shot or whatever? Can he do enough? And that's what makes Benrahma. But with Antonio, I've just got a bit more confidence that out of anyone in our team going forward, actually, he's the one that could just cause problems to a defender. And I want to see us carry enough threat to make Tottenham worry. And I think taking him away from the striker position might help him for a little bit, just to put him back onto his natural position as a right winger, Bowen down the middle. And like I said, I think Vlasic, if anything, the cup game, it's like a natural thing, isn't it, for a manager to rotate his team for the cup games anyway. So I think actually it's probably easier to put Vlasic in for this one than it was against Norwich. That may have happened on the Saturday, because it's a cup game. It's like the expectation is the manager will bring 2 or 3 players and then he tries something, give game time to those who need game time, regardless of the opponent in the stage of it. And I think this game for Vlasic would give Moyes an excuse to put him in without too many eyebrows or questions being raised, really. Not that there should be any. It costs 27 million, but Anyway, that's how we would like to see them line up. Gonzo, when we did the preview for the previous Cup games, the Man City Cup game in particular, we both suggested that we weren't too fussed this year round because of the Europa League thing. Now we're in the quarterfinals. Has that changed?
Sorry, which quarterfinals, Joe, are you talking about here? The European quarterfinals, or are you talking about domestic cup quarterfinals? I get confused.
Well, that joke would be good if we were in the quarterfinal of the Europa League, but we're not. So,
well,
you tried. I'll give you tried.
Yeah. Well, we're in the knockout stages of a prestigious European competition as group.
Yeah, it was a good
champions.
reminder to the Tottenham fans that made it this far. It was a good reminder to them.
Wasn't aimed at them. Wasn't aimed at them. I'm just saying. I was just needed clarification. What I didn't know. What? Okay, yes. So we're in. Yeah, I'm very. I just get so much of it. There's so much success recently that you get confused, don't you? I didn't even remember what preview we were doing. So yes, sorry. Because it could have been Tottenham in the European campaign, because we could have been drawn against. Oh no, we couldn't. Could be sorry. Yeah. So I mean, we've got to look. We've got to take this seriously. I'm up for it now, mate. I'm up. I know. I'm up for it now.
Yeah, after all that, I get the answer. Yeah, I'm up for it now. That's it. But no, I agree with you. My perspective has changed. I'll be honest with you. And that part of the element of it is because it is Spurs as well. I think that's the one opponent you don't want to put you out of the cup. I don't mind admitting that. But more importantly, it's because it's a quarterfinal League Cup. We are 90 minutes in a penalty shootout away from being in the semi-final of a cup competition, which is massive for West Ham. And if we get there, the same reason I said about Conte, you don't need to worry about this competition until February. You've got another month and a half to even need to worry about the semi-finals, which is over 2 legs. It's a bit like the Europa League thing. It's job done in the group stage. Don't pack it away and forget about it until March. It's the same with this. Get the job done on Wednesday before Christmas. Sorted. We'll worry about it again in February. We can focus on the league till now and then. And I think what it would do, in a weird way, it takes the pressure off the FA Cup. And we've got a tough enough fixture against Leeds. But if you're in the League Cup semi-final, you're in the last 16 Europa League, the FA Cup comes round. If Moyes turn around and say, I'm fielding the kids for this one, I think most West Ham fans go, fair enough. You've got more important. You're further on in the competition. It just gives an excuse to diminish the FA Cup, really. But I think this competition, importance of this is increased a bit for me. Then you add in the factor that we didn't play Norwich City. We've almost had a rest. We've not, as it stands, touch wood, we've not had any COVID reported at West Ham. And that, so you'd assume that Moyes has had everybody available for training for the last few days and stuff. There's almost no reasons for us to not be fully prepared for this game on Wednesday. So it has changed for me. You confident?
No. This game can go either way. It's hard to be confident for this one. This is anyone's game. Yeah, it really is. But I'm looking forward to it, certainly.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same as you, actually. I think it'll be a close game. I'd be surprised there's more than one goal in it come the full-time whistle. I'll tell you what, I'll give you my prediction already because it's hard to say something without giving it away. I think it's going to go to pens. I think this game will be a stalemate at 9 minutes. I don't think there's much between the teams, regardless of what teams and managers put out. Conte can make 5 changes from the team yesterday. It'll still be a bloody good Tottenham team. Moyes could play his first 11 bar 5. It'll still be a bloody good West Ham team. But one thing you're going to get from both teams under these managers is hard work, organisation, small attention to detail, like set pieces and stuff. And sometimes that is what defines a game rather than just ability. At the minute, I'm about halfway through. I've just started watching the Nottingham Forest documentary on Netflix. I'm halfway through it. I can't remember what it's called. It's The Miracle or something. And it's about Clough's years at Forest. And it's a very intriguing watch. It almost reminds you of managers like Conte and Moyes because they're basically saying the managers just told us, go out there, work hard. You work hard, you probably play well. You play well, you'll enjoy it. And those two managers almost have that a similar sort of ethos, if you like. It's a bit more developed than what it was under Clough and stuff. But there's almost like a romance of football at the minute between Forest, West Ham, and I think Tottenham will be a bit like that as well. So I think this will be a bloody good game to watch. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's going to be a draw, Gonzo. I think I'll go to penalties, and it's going to come down to a bit of a lottery, really. How do you see it going? What's your prediction?
Well, I think it'll be a tight game as well. I really do. Styles make fights, Geo, and it's And this two counter-attacking managers, basically, for all the reasons when you just said when you described them. I'm not going to predict a West Ham loss, though, because I don't. Sometimes I do, as you know, but not for this one, I don't think. I think I'm going to go for Tottenham 0, West Ham 1.
I'll go 1-1. I'm going 1-1. Going to pens. I don't really know. I'll say West Ham win then on pens, but where's that coin? I'll flick that. Martin Noble coming on off the bench in the 90th plus 2 minutes, getting ready for his penalty. Looking forward to it anyway.
And Ben Rama, he was good last time as well. Nerves of steel, get him on as well.
Wednesday, 7:45 kickoff, which means at 6:40 we will be live on this channel. So if you're not going to the game, perhaps none of you will be, but if you're not going to this game, pop along to this channel, Hammers Channel, your one-stop shop, everything you need on the West Ham match day. Myself are going to be live at 6:40. If you enjoyed this preview, drop a like on it. Let us know the team you would like to see in the comments below. Let us know what you hope Moyes is naming, how you see the game going and stuff. Subscribe to the channel. You're around here. Myself, Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.